This your boy John the Liquidator coming back with another video. So it looked like many WNBA players, specifically Breanna Stewart, is asking for some type of investigation to be took in place in the W after those leaked letters had been released to the public. Man, guys, for this one here, we got to go up to New York. Let's get it. Let's go. We got to jump right into this story. So it looked like Breanna Stewart is definitely not happy with these letters getting leaked to the public. If you guys don't know, a certain group of media people had received these letters from WNBA players, and they pretty much made content about it. Now, these people right here are connected to WNBA players. I just want to play a little snippet of it because Breanna Stewart did respond to this, and she responded to all of it. She responded to the letters getting leaked, and she responded to the current state of the CBA negotiations. But I really want you guys to hear this right here.
On Thursday, March 5th, as we were recording earlier today, and in which she was able to report that only after signing an NDA were the executive committee members, let alone the rest of the PA, the executive committee members, given access to the league's full proposal. So again, to go back to, here is the quiz for everyone. At the same time, they have not seen the proposals yet when this went out. Who is this for? On Thursday, March 5th, as we were recording earlier today, and in which.
So that was some of the context, man. They got hip to some privy information. A lot of people were saying that a agent leaked the information to them. End of the day, man, however they got it, bro, because ain't no other content creator get it. So for them to get it, it had to be somebody of some importance to leak that information, man. Now, Breanna Stewart, speaking to reporters at USA Basketball Training Camp, Breanna Stewart says that she does not know when the PA's next counter proposal will be sent to the league. There was an executive committee meeting yesterday. Stewart said she did not have the specifics for the next proposal. Now, Breanna Stewart, on the letter, she and Kelsey Plum wrote to Tarika Jackson that was obtained by ESPN. She stated, we had some concerns that we wanted to address with Tarika Jackson and the entire EC back on track to making a path forward to the best deal possible. Terry is our executive director. We know she's leading us in the best way possible. While there are questions being asked, it's all good in good faith. Now, that's what she said. Now, somebody who's prompting it and who we could count on for information is Alexa Philippou. Now, Alexa Philippou had a lot to say yesterday. 20 minutes worth. We ain't going to play the whole thing, but we're definitely going to listen.
This place is with the fact that I sat down with WNBPA Executive Director Terry Carmichael Jackson to talk about where things stand in the union. But before we get into that discussion, let's do a quick recap. Over the last week and a half, we've seen the union's circumstances grow more challenging as information surrounding splits between the union executive committee coming to light. It started with the league's announcement of a target date of March 10th being this date invoked by the league as one that the league and union would need to reach a CBA by in order to avoid delays to the 30th season, which is slated to tip off on March 8th. After that date was announced, again, as a rough target date, the union's communication became more strained, and that strain started to become public, beginning with a meeting last Tuesday that I was notified by multiple sources became tense almost immediately, with members of the executive committee vocalizing their disapproval of the way certain discussions, communications regarding negotiations were being handled. In addition, a main sticking point with that tension was whether or not a strike was still the best step forward for the union to take. Now, what's important to recognize when that comes up is that the union has not announced it will strike. They voted in December as a collective to authorize a strike. What that means is that the union's executive committee now has the power to call a strike if they deem necessary. What's also important to acknowledge in that conversation is that prior to calling a strike, the executive committee would have very lengthy, detailed discussion, once again, with its members before any step was taken. However, that strike authorization vote that was near unanimous, sources have indicated fewer players are in alignment than were in alignment in December. What followed that meeting was a letter signed by nearly a dozen prominent agents representing players of varying standings in the league, from some of the top players in the league to middle tier players, etc. These are some of the most experienced agents, not only in women's basketball, but in sports, period. They come with a lot of knowledge, a lot of insight, and just detailed understanding of not only negotiations, but the legalities and terms within contracts that, like the one being negotiated between the WNBA and the WNBPA. So this letter, signed by nearly a dozen of those agents, was sent to WNBPA Executive Director Terry Carmichael Jackson. And the letter, in summation, was requesting access to the league's latest proposals in an attempt to best serve their clients and help in any way possible. So that collection of nearly a dozen agents sent that letter to WNBPA Executive Director Terry Carmichael Jackson on Thursday. On Friday, the union submitted its latest counter proposal to the league, which the league followed up with another counter proposal on Sunday. So at this current state, the league is waiting for a counter proposal from the union. Now, the media learned of this counter proposal during availability with players at Unrivaled semifinals games at Barclays in New York City. In addition to learning about this counter proposal sent from the league, which included minimal changes, the players spoke about where they stand on a strike. Notably, Kelsey Plum said that a strike would be bad for the union and the league. Also notable to that is the number of players who agreed with her. Now, I think up until this point, the language that was coming out of the union was very staunch in it doing whatever was necessary to get a deal done, including striking if necessary. But the language around all of that alluded to an idea or a sense that a strike could be imminent. A strike was something that was more likely than not, based again on the language that was coming out of the union. That was some people's assumptions. And when I say some people, sources have told me that there was a belief that a strike was something that union leadership was adamant needed to be pursued. Now, that has come into question because Kelsey Plum's statements on the record, again, are in direct kind of misalignment with that messaging. When you have a member of the executive committee saying a strike would be bad for the league and for the union, that forces the union to address the disconnect, because now you have a player that is whose tone has changed in regards to the strike, whose tone has changed publicly regarding the strike. So following that meeting, following that media availability with players like Kelsey Plum, Brianna Stewart,
you guys can check out the full sit down that she had with Front Office Sports on their YouTube channel, man. Get down in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts about this. Keep them bells on. I will be back with more content. Until next time, man. Shake that.